Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
We are proud to announce that YouTube has recognized Queer News Tonight, certified by analytics company vidIQ, as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 10 million views.
We are proud that we have more than 1,000 new subscribers in the last month, and that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
Over 500,000 of you have watched the show in the last 90 days. We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in the LGBTQ community. There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Monday, February 10th, and we are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we'll tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ plus evening news show.
Hotspots magazine, Happening Out Television Network, is a non-profit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ community.
Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network. In 2025, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 10,000 LGBTQ television stories. We will produce the 25th anniversary of our Stonewall Pride Parade and Festival on June 14th. Our magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows supports our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2025, more than 100 anchors will host this show to support the LGBTQ plus community. Let's meet today's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome back to the table anchor Alex Morash. Alex has served as editor-in-chief of Options Magazine, media director of the National LGBTQ Task Force, and press secretary for the Florida Democratic Party. Hey, Alex, so Sunserve, SilverServe, Luncheon celebrates LGBTQ seniors on February 14th. I love it. Tell me what's happening.
Sure thing, Faye. You know, Island City Park Preserve will host the SilverServe Luncheon on Friday, February 14th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., organized by Sunserve. This free event invites seniors to enjoy a festive Valentine's gathering, filled with socializing, great vibes, and community spirit. Attendees can meet new friends, share experiences, and celebrate the day in a welcoming environment. Free parking and RSVPs are available. The luncheon aims to foster connections among seniors in a relaxed and enjoyable setting. For more information, visit sunserve.org.
What a wonderful event, right? I mean, our seniors are those that we so commonly forget. And we need to stop doing that,
especially in our community.
Yes.
Where youth is a premium, but we are aging now. This generation is aging. I'm old. We are and with advances in medicine, we are no longer dropping dead, at an early age.
So we need friends and we need fellowship, and that's what Sunserve and SilverServe will be doing for you.
Exactly.
And I think it's such a wonderful thing. At Sunserve's last gala, I met a woman who brings her parent, right? And her parent had recently lost their partner, and he didn't want to go anywhere. He didn't do anything. And she basically forced him to go to SilverServe. And now he's part of community again. He's part of fellowship again. He has friends again, I mean, that's what it's all about. And I love that they're having this event, right?
Mark my words, Wilton Manors is going to become a century village in 30 years. We'll be playing shuffleboard, but with Cosmos.
Well, you look great for 70 then, Bobby.
Yes. So make sure you go on over to, Bobby, make sure you go on over to sunserve.org to sign up for the luncheon, all right? Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you all at SilverServe Luncheon on Friday, February 14th. Let's welcome anchor Dr. Bobby Huen. A world traveler and well-versed in global affairs, Bobby provides an international perspective on all things current events. A PhD in conflict resolution, Bobby is a certified civil and family mediator and the founder of BH Conflict Resolution Services. Bobby, Art Walk is coming. Art Walk Wilton Manors celebrates our creative side from Hotspots happening out February 15th. Tell me what's happening.
Wilton Manors' vibrant art walk returns on February 15th, transforming sidewalks along the Drive and Dixie Highway into an open-air gallery from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Held every third Saturday from October to May, the event unites local artists, craftspeople, and the community. February's featured locations include 6th Avenue Park, Art Frenzy, and The Well, with Dixie Village also activated. Attendees can explore unique artwork, meet creators, and enjoy the lively atmosphere. Don't miss the celebration of creativity. For more details, visit hotspotsmagazine.com. I love this event. I always do every month. I actually go out and have a little cocktail and go peruse the vendors.
Yeah.
I mean, my walls are filled. I have no room. But it's always nice where this tiny little city has put so much emphasis on local art.
Yeah.
I mean, when is the last time you saw a city anywhere in Florida, let alone to have like little sculptures just dotting the sidewalk on a normal day?
Yeah, well, they know how much we love our art and theater, right? Especially we're gay. That's what we love, you know? But to go during Art Walk is like an experience because you get to start on Wilton and you make your way up to the Arts District. I think now that's literally what that area is called with all the wonderful art galleries, etc. So I start at Art Frenzy with Bernadette and her beautiful art, and then I make myself up, right? I pass Caruso's, I make that right over there, and then I see the Hotspots, I see Arts United Gallery, I see the Fierce,
in the back.
Undecided, I see, you know, Mateo over there with his art. Like everybody's outside doing art. Yeah. Like how wonderful is that? There's music, and like you said, someone literally painting live while you're there drinking your little sippy cup. Was your cocktail in a sippy cup that day? Maybe.
No, man. No, man. I'm too old for sippy cups. I'm not old enough to be 70.
I'm sorry. Goodness.
Oh, it's all about art and culture, so please come on out. Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you all at Wilton Manors' vibrant art walk on February 15th.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, FayWhat. Fay is a legendary events host, television and radio personality, and the host of Hotspots Happening Out's The FayWhat Show. Faye, Outshine Film Festival, Cocktails, and Cinema brings a nice Indian boy to Coral Gables on February 11th. Tell me what's happening, Faye.
First of all, I love Outshine Film Festival. I love the actual film festival and then the events like this that they do throughout the year. So a big shout out going out to Alan and Dino Mosquera and everybody out there at Outshine Film Festival. So the Bill Cosford Cinema runs A Nice Indian Boy on February 11th. That's this week, 2025, at 7 p.m. as part of their Cocktails and Cinema by Outshine Film Festival. So the film is directed by Roshan Sethi, and this USA-made romantic drama explores love, family, and identity. Guests can enjoy a post-film cocktail hour with free drinks sponsored by Tito's Vodka. The event, presented in partnership with the Miami Film Festival, offers a heartfelt look at culture and relationships. Admission is free, gratis, nada. So for details, visit outshinefilm.com. Like I said, I love these events, and this particular film is one that I really wanted to go to, okay? It is worth the drive down to Coral Gables because the movie just seems so cool. So it's about Naveen, and he takes his fiancée, Jay, home to meet his traditional Indian family, right? And who must deal with accepting his boyfriend, a white orphaned artist, and help them plan their dream Indian wedding, okay? So that is definitely right up my alley. My best friend Cal is Indian, and I can't wait till he gets married and I'm part of an Indian wedding. A gay Indian wedding. Yes, you know. So I kudos to Outshine for just doing events like this that get us talking, right?
Exactly.
And their events with different cultures and stuff like that. That is what we need right now.
It was just great to see Outshine doing so many events and hitting the ground running because they just got a new ED and they really seem to be doing great new things all of a sudden.
Right?
So
Yeah.
good for Outshine.
Cocktails and cinemas. So Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Cocktails and Cinema. It brings to you A Nice Indian Boy on February 11th. See you then. Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ plus story for today. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up business. Orlando finally reveals images of post-nightclub shooting memorial. Orlando's Pulse Memorial Advisory Committee has chosen a final design for a permanent tribute to the 49 lives lost in the 2016 nightclub shooting. Set on the original site, the memorial will feature an elliptical walkway with 49 rainbow-colored glass panels, a private indoor space for mementos, and an outdoor garden honoring survivors. A reflection pool will display a rainbow heart and an electrocardiogram pulse. The committee will meet with the Orlando City Council on February 24th to finalize details. The city aims to begin construction bids in March and select a contractor by July. Mayor Buddy Dyer hopes the memorial will be completed by late summer 2027. At Hotspots Happening Out, we were deeply touched by executive producers Al Ferguson's friendship with Eddie Sotomayor, who was also known as Top Hat Eddie, who was lost at the Pulse nightclub massacre. This is a long time coming, folks. This was 2016, so we're going on 8 years, right? Almost 9 that this happened. And there's been so much speculation about what the Pulse Foundation has done. That the Pulse Foundation had to fold, that they had that they had raised a lot of money in those years, but had used 17 million of it or 11.5 million of it for just expenses and stuff that they had to pay over the years, etc. But survivors and families and people had been waiting to see, when is this memorial coming? I was one of the people that actually thought that it might never happen, right? Because of just all the push and pull, the city getting involved, etc. They were thinking of maybe moving the memorial somewhere else, which I really think wouldn't have been the best idea, being that was where these 49 lives were lost. And that's where it should be. We've got to make a point that most of the people that were killed at the Pulse massacre were Latinos also, and we think of them every year when the anniversary comes. This is a step in the right direction, right? I'm hoping, these are plans for this to happen. Now I want to see the ground broken and I want to get this started to see something happen. They're saying by summer 2026. That's expecting a lot in a short period of time from my seat.
It's going to be one of those things that hopefully government will not be inefficient about it. I mean, if the city is going to do it, my fear is that Tallahassee is going to try to interfere. They're going to try to say, don't build memorials
because of the gay part of it, you mean?
Well, or the Latino part. Take your pick.
Very true.
These days, either one can go. Ron DeSantis want to basically deport everyone, but Florida legislature is like, I need farm workers and construction workers and waiters. And they bounce back, they push back, and but for the spirit of the memorial, I think the sculpture is really nice. I think the reflecting pool and the elliptical walk, that looks great. So hopefully that would become a good, I won't say solemn, but sober memorial.
A part of me is not that shocked that it's taken that long, because creating a memorial for something of a wound this deep in our society, it has to be done very, very delicately and very thoughtfully. So I think Mayor Buddy Dyer is doing a good job with moving this forward. It does look very beautiful because, as someone who's interviewed a Pulse survivor and has had friends that weren't at the club but were at the hospital after, it just always hits me when talking about Pulse, just as a brick wall of what happened that night. So I'm glad that the city took the time to think about how to do this right. And, and it's hard, you're running a nightclub, this tragic event happens, this trying to be thrusted, then has to deal with it, trying to do, what do you do to talk about it?
Running a nonprofit is not easy. And doing all the right things and making sure that the families are happy, the survivors are happy, the county is happy, the country is happy. That's a lot.
It's a huge weight. And there is no writing out there of how to respond to something like this in society.
And I read somewhere that for a certain group of people, the Pulse nightclub massacre is like our 9/11, for the LGBTQ community, So I could imagine, I get goosebumps right now. I hope this memorial happens because I could see us going there to pay homage to people that we have lost aside from Pulse, just because of all the stuff that's going on in LGBT.
I'm glad you referred to sort of like our 9/11, because I remember that day. I was living in DC. I'd never been to Florida. I verbally screamed at the television when they released it, because it hit me and it hit everyone I knew just so hard. Like, and so most of our viewers, it hit us so differently than almost any other shooting that we've seen in the last 20 years.
Well, and it also didn't help that it's 3 hours away from us. I mean, it literally is right there. And we know so many people down here that spend their weekends in Orlando because it's right there. You know what I mean?
I was in Orlando that weekend. We didn't go to Pulse. My husband and I, well, actually back then my boyfriend and I were Disney adults, so we're on the other side of town. But when we were we heard about it when we were leaving the next morning. And
wow.
It was just gut-wrenching. It was awful. But I mean, I wasn't there, so I'm not going to like insert myself into the survivorship thing.
No, not like many people have. You know, many people, like you hear across the board, I was there or I was in the vicinity. Bitch, you weren't. You know what I mean? Like if you weren't, you were affected. This memorial is for you, you know, and this is the brainchild of someone thinking of you, thinking of folks that survived, thinking of those that we lost. I really hope that this happens by summer 2026. We're going to send all kinds of good vibes. And if it doesn't happen, you will hear it here.
On Queer News Tonight.
We will call it out right here on Queer News Tonight. So that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Dr. Bobby Huen, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. The important gay men's chorus of South Florida, Unbroken Voices, Songs for Justice and Redemption at Sunshine Cathedral, February 27th. The Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida is bringing music and activism together for LGBTQ Black History Month. Their concert, Unbroken Voices, Songs for Justice and Redemption, highlights resilience and community through music. A centerpiece of the evening is Joe Thompson's The 7 Last Words of the Unarmed, a gripping tribute to Black lives lost to injustice. The program shifts from sorrow to hope with uplifting ballads and guest artists. The event is more than a concert. It is a call to action against hate. Set for Thursday, February 27th at 8 p.m., it will take place at the historic Sunshine Cathedral. Sponsors include Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Hollywood, and Hotspots Happening Out Television Network. Tickets start at $37. In a time of division and hatred against minorities, this performance reminds us that music has the power to heal, unite, and inspire change. There is no better way of celebrating Black History Month than this. For more details, visit GMCSF.org. Fantastic. I mean, maybe shouldn't come out of an Asian's mouth to promote the event, but I think for Black History Month that's very appropriate for Sunshine Cathedral, for Gay Men's Chorus to do something like that.
Yeah.
And also, speaking of Black History Month and music, have you seen the halftime show yesterday?
Of course I did.
Kendrick Lamar was on fire.
He was. And and speaking of music and activism, that's exactly what Kendrick Lamar did. Okay, and folks at home, if you don't like rap, right? It's okay. You don't have to like rap, all right? But don't be a racial piece of crap, okay? How about that, right? Relook at the halftime show, and talk to your friends who are in the know. They'll be able to explain to you what the halftime show meant, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It really delved into a time of division that we have in this country, and how Black Americans are super marginalized, and that also calls to what GMCSF wants to do at Sunshine Cathedral with this concert. I mean, think about it. Unbroken Voices, Songs for Justice and Redemption. I mean, that sounds like the next song that Kendrick Lamar is going to write. You know what I mean? So, and with Edward Otto Zelke as the lead, he knows how important, especially right now in Black History Month, to make sure that everybody's represented, and make sure that everybody sees themselves in what the programming is. And that's what they're doing over there at GMCSF. Yeah. So if you haven't done anything for Black History Month, you're halfway through the month. This is a great way to celebrate and to honor our Black friends, the Black Americans in our lives, or any marginalized community. Honestly, like you said, you're not Black, but you're Asian, right? Why not? Why not it come out of your mouth, Bobby? You know what I mean? So everybody get your tickets today. Gay Men's Chorus, they're all about inclusivity. They're all about making sure that everybody is represented, and they're showing it at this event. So that is the big LGBTQ story for today. Make sure you get your tickets for Unbroken Voices. All right here at Sunshine Cathedral. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Alex Morash, and let's queer up entertainment. South Florida filmmaker Kareem Tabasch is to make an Anita Bryant documentary. Anita Bryant, the controversial anti-LGBTQ activist, is dead, but her legacy is set to be explored in an upcoming documentary. And we assume another pie in the face is coming. Bryant, once known as a singer, allegedly, and Miss Oklahoma, became infamous for leading the 1977 campaign to repeal a Dade County law banning discrimination based on sexual orientation. Preaching, quote, God's work, end quote, she fueled fears about queer people in schools, galvanizing both opposition and a historic LGBTQ rights movement, especially in South Florida. Many credit the response to Anita Bryant, launched the advocacy group SAVE, and the first Pride event in Florida, Pride Fort Lauderdale. Her action sparked the first major queer boycott against Florida orange juice, and led to the unforgettable moment when she was hit with a pie on live TV. Now, queer South Florida filmmaker Kareem Tabasch and producer Alex Romero are bringing her story to the screen. Tabasch, known for The Last Resort, aims to explore Bryant's impact and the ongoing fight for LGBTQ rights, especially as new threats emerge. Queer News Tonight will continue to follow this news, and I just want to say once again, it's so nice to talk about Anita Bryant is no longer alive. This documentary looks like it could be really interesting, but there's also a huge weight put on these filmmakers, because they can't just go with the easy way. They got to go through all the harsh things of what she's done to our community, how so many people in South Florida have been affected by her, and just really showing us what it got her and her family, which is financial ruin, I might add.
And let's face it, I mean, I know that it's cliche, but the past is prologue. We are literally seeing it all over again. Yeah. The drag queens, the drag queen story hour, the expulsion of anyone who teaches woke or LGBTQ ideology. They are the same thing, just in a different package. Yeah. Anita Bryant has pioneered a methodology that current conservative activists still use today. Still used today. The same scare tactics, the same thing that, they're getting trans surgeries in the middle of the classroom.
In schools! Oh my goodness.
As if you can pay a third grade teacher to do surgery of any kind. Like they won't even put a bandage on. But the thing is, it's her studying how to beat her will be how to study how to beat the others.
I love that. What a great point. Will both of you watch the documentary?
Oh, of course.
Of course.
Probably together. With popcorn.
Probably together with popcorn.
Together with cocktails.
I mean, to put this into perspective, because I think everybody has seen Anita Bryant get the pie to the face, right? But I have to be honest that it wasn't until I moved down here to South Florida that I even knew who the hell she was. You know what I mean? So think about it. She was a beauty queen. She was a singer. It was like on a lower level, thinking of Taylor Swift, making it her whole point in life to go against LGBTQ+. That's basically what Anita Bryant was doing with every living, breathing moment that she was on air or whatever, was just trying, and under the umbrella of protecting children. That sounds familiar,
exactly. Right? But the irony is the same community, evangelicals, who pushed her to new heights, who pushed her out to do the Save the Children thing. Later, when she divorced her first husband, they all shunned her.
Really?
Yeah, they all shunned her. She remarried, and after years of obscurity, she tried to do, I remember this whole long article about it. She tried to set up a music theater thing in Tennessee, like in Pigeon Forge, the very conservative area, kind of like conservative Vegas.
Okay, oxymoron there, but okay.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But and they have been dodging taxes and unpaid bills for year after year after year. They just run away
I had
from
no
it.
idea. I know that she is just a perfect person to explain karma.
Oh, Meanwhile, her first husband stayed in Miami Beach. Can you imagine watching it go by as the place get gayer and gayer and gayer? And when he died, he told
the Miami Herald, most likely.
Yes, the Miami Herald, how bitter he was about the gays, was responsible for the dissolution of their marriage and all that stuff.
Oh, wow.
But the other nice thing when talking about Anita Bryant, and because you were talking about, these anti-LGBTQ people that are still coming around, they tend to be roughly around the same age that Anita Bryant was when she passed away. They're a very old group of people who I honestly do think we should be studying how to counter them, of course. But another part of me feels like I really don't know how much longer they can cling on to this planet, to this Earth.
I don't know. I mean, there are plenty of generations of evangelical will still rise and will still scream the same thing, will still propagate the same lies about our community. So better be vigilant and have a response and no response.
Do you think there'll be a lot of them after her generation is no longer with us?
Her generation is running the country right now.
For a few more years at best.
At best. At best. I don't know. I, for one, I definitely will. You know what? We'll keep you abreast to this situation with this documentary. And I have a feeling that everybody at this table will watch it, even though we don't like her. We would still watch it.
I downright hate her.
No, I want to see it like, you know, we have to do a dramatization of the pie in the face, right? And I'll just stop it and rewind it and stop it and rewind it.
We should get a bunch of people to dress up as drag queen Anita Bryant for the premiere.
With pies.
With pies.
I love that. So that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Dr. Bobby Huen, and let's queer up the USA view. EEOC stops investigating LGBTQ discrimination. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, also known as EEOC, has paused investigations into workplace discrimination complaints based on gender identity or sexual orientation. Multiple EEOC sources confirmed to Mother Jones that staff have been ordered to stop processing both new and existing cases. An EEOC employee confirms, quote, there is what they are calling a pause on investigations of both transgender rights and sexual orientation charges, end quote. The decision follows an executive order from President Donald Trump directing agencies to enforce laws based on, quote, biologically distinct sexes, end quote. While the order does not explicitly rescind LGBTQ protections, EEOC staff say they fear backlash from the administration. According to a former EEOC employee, quote, people are afraid of being on the wrong side of this administration, end quote. The move contradicts the Supreme Court's 2020 ruling on Bostock versus Clayton County, which held that discrimination based on LGBTQ status violates Title VII of the Civil Rights Act. Additionally, the EEOC has removed non-binary gender markers and pronouns option from its complaint system. Employees report seeing all sexual orientation and gender identity cases labeled, quote, SOGI, also known as sexual orientation and gender identity, paused, end quote. Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm really not surprised. Although the thing is, Bostock versus Clayton County was a very solid case. I believe it was 6-3, and it was and the majority opinion was written by Justice Gorsuch, who is on the conservative side of things. So the conservative White House is going to ask the conservative SCOTUS to dump his own ruling that's 4 years old. No.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I know what Alex is going to say. Alex is going to say that Trump doesn't care. His administration is just going to reject them anyway, because right now, I don't even think EEOC has enough commissioners to finish a complaint, to uphold any kind of complaint.
Well, as the person who first told you that, because part of my day job, I'm part of like this giant email list of the Equal Pay Coalition, because and they deal so much with the EEOC. And we knew that there were potential firings coming up. And Trump fired the 2 Democratic commissioners, because there are 4 commissioners. They don't have a quorum to do anything right now, which is a big strategy that he does, because you don't need to worry about a Supreme Court case when you don't have a quorum of your National Labor Relations Board or your Equal Opportunity Commission to enforce anything. As long as you don't appoint 2 new Democrats while he's president,
which is not going to happen.
Yeah, well, they can investigate all they want. They can't enforce anything right now. This is insanity. What we're
President Elon Musk and his flying monkeys, alongside First Lady Donald Trump, is quite honestly using that exact strategy right now over and over and over.
Yeah.
They empty out USAID, but they cannot dismantle it. They empty out Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, but without
any staff, what are they going to do?
Yeah, they basically just, and now the government unions that represent the civil servants are suing them right at the court, and now the courts has already put for example, some nationwide injunctions in place, and they are going to the district court is going to be busy slapping down all types of injunction.
To an extent, but like Trump didn't, he didn't fill federal elections.
FEC.
Yeah, the FEC seats for a while. So they didn't have a quorum during the end of his presidency for 2 years to enforce any campaign finance rules. So like, I have a feeling that they'll be allowed to continue to have these vacancies and just allow things to not move forward, which is, it's a tragedy, but it's also it's not a surprise.
It's breaking the government so that Musk and Trump and his cronies can essentially run roughshod all over this country and basically arbitrarily apply whatever they want.
But also remember, something I remember the ACLU told us when I was at the task force. I know this is like Lady Sasha, my drag name, tell an old story. The ACLU would always remind us that, one of the end games of Trump's religious right-wing groups is not to end discrimination laws for LGBTQ people or for women or for black people, is to end non-discrimination laws, full stop. That is their end goal. I don't know why that's their end goal. It's a little crazy to me because, then you can discriminate against Christians, can't you? But that's where they're going, and this is another...
So basically against disabled folks, against everyone.
Everyone.
They want to say that you can't, to get rid of it. And this is another step in that direction.
But that dovetails into his new office of faith and religion in the White House, which separates our church and state, apparently just disappeared.
It's gone.
But it is staffed by only evangelicals who want to push Christian nationalism. They're going to start to declare that America is a Christian nation just as they want. And anyone who don't belong to their religion or don't adhere to their ideals are automatically criminals. So queer people, disabled people,
anybody who's
Jewish
not white,
people,
how about that?
Yeah, anyone who's not
white male.
White, straight, Christian, nationalist male.
100%. So if you're not, look out. Well, they're coming for you.
I mean, the leopard will eat my face. The leopard has eaten my face song is becoming very popular on social media for a reason.
Crazy. Listen, folks, get your armor ready because it's going to be needed, all right? So that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ plus story for today. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Pride flag ban in Florida vote Tuesday, February 11th. The pride flag, a symbol of safety and acceptance, is under attack in Florida. Senate Bill 100, known as the pride flag ban, is set for its first committee vote Tuesday, February 11th. The bill would prohibit public buildings from displaying flags representing a political viewpoint, including LGBTQ and transgender pride flags. Advocates say this is a direct attempt to erase LGBTQ visibility. The community members argue that, quote, the LGBTQ and transgender pride flags are a beacon to our community. By trying to ban them, Florida's Republican supermajority is sending a message of their own that the LGBTQ community should be erased, end quote. Last year, 21 out of 22 anti-LGBTQ bills were defeated through public outcry. Equality Florida is calling for the same energy now. It is time for the queer community members to tell the Congressional Governmental Oversight and Accountability Committee to vote no on SB 100. We're watching, we're holding them accountable, and we're not backing down. You can also be part of this action. Visit eqfl.org and digitally sign the Stop the Pride Flag ban. We knew this was coming, right? We knew. He was telling us that this was going to happen, and here we are with this. And that was why My Hollywood Pride was so important a couple of weeks back. It was the first Pride of the year, and they raised that progressive flag high and proudly, and it was a moment to just feel togetherness and try to forget for a moment that this government wants to erase us. Yes, exactly. That's what they're doing. They're trying to erase us. They don't want anything visual out for anybody else to see any kind of representation when it comes to our community.
I guarantee you there's going to be some mysterious carve-outs for exceptions that includes Confederate flags, the thin blue line flag, and they're just what they're trying to ban is LGBTQ flag, the progress flag, the trans flag, any kind of sexuality-oriented flags, and Black Lives Matter, or like Black representation flags. Yeah. They are going to try to get a carve-out on Christian nationalist symbols, any kind of conservative movement symbols, so the thin blue line. But the thing is, though, if they carve out that way, that's an instant First Amendment violation. You cannot viewpoint discriminate.
Yeah. Well, the current legislation doesn't have carve-outs. But this is where I get a little, reading the bill, I found it to be a very weird thing. Because one, it bans flags that says of a political view. Well, I don't know what to tell you, folks, but people don't create flags as just a fun thing. Almost every flag has a political meaning.
Yeah.
The American flag is technically a political flag.
It really is.
It's support of a particular nation state. People get mad when you burn it because it is a symbol. It is a political symbol. The state flag is a political flag. The Blue Lives Matter is a political
Don't tread on
flag.
me.
Oh, God, yes.
I hate that freaking
Don't
flag.
step on snake, I call it.
Okay.
Right? Like, these are all have political... But the thing that I found was really creepy bizarre about the bill is it empowers any current or military service person or veteran to actively, physically stop someone who's trying to take down an American flag from a town. And I'm like, y'all understand it's normal to take the flag down each night. So you're saying that every vigilante yahoo who used to serve in the military can go out and try and disrupt like the local town janitor from taking the flag down? Like, what? This is insanity when you see how poorly this was written.
And partly the whole thing about taking flag is United States flag code, and the flag code prohibits also desecration of the flag in other ways. For example, you have a flag drop onto the ground,
Hanging it upside down, etc.
and you can no longer use it. You have to dispose of it, burn it, and but are we talking about the same conservative movement here who loves basically using the American flag as apparel, underwear,
shirts, everything,
bikinis, hats? I mean, the whole thing, without the American flag, Kid Rock will have to walk around naked.
Oh, God, and nobody wants that.
No.
And nobody wants that. I think that it'll be just a little bit of time before we end up with, like, the Trump flag, and that'll be what he wants, waved everywhere in front of every business and every organization.
Now that you said it, it's going to happen. He'll watch this show, and he'll be like, that's a great idea.
Stop speaking it into existence.
Right? Stop it. I'm taking it back. I deleted it. That's it. That is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Alex Morash, and let's queer up travel. ArtServe exhibit explores Black artist resilience, running through March 28th. Visit Lauderdale invites you to Burnout and Black Artists, Emotional Sustainability in the Arts, an exhibition at ArtServe running through March 28th. Open daily from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., the exhibit highlights powerful works by local and national African American artists. This groundbreaking showcase explores culture, identity, and history while addressing the emotional toll of artistic expression. It provides a platform for Black artists to share their voices and experiences. A Visit Lauderdale spokesperson said, quote, "This exhibit is a must-see that amplifies important stories through art," end quote. Don't miss this opportunity to engage with thought-provoking pieces and celebrate resilience in the arts. More details are available at visitlauderdale.com.
Those are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. These anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ and ally community. If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots magazine, Happening Out Television, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, FayWhat? 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 There it is, right? And on behalf of these LGBTQ reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Alex Morash and Dr. Bobby Huen, we will see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ plus world, we hope that you will join us by embracing love, generosity, bravery, by being transformative and queer. Good night, everyone.
Good night.